Hey, what's up, Ranomas? Today I'm going to be showing you some easy photography hacks that you can be able to use to step up your photography game very easily. So let's get into it. For those who are new here, I am Q the Random and I have been doing video and photography for the past 7 years, and I want to pass that knowledge to you. So if you'd like to learn more about photography and video related stuff, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before we get started, I'd like to shout out my wife, who's going to be behind the camera as I'm moving around, and also the model for today, that is my sister Penny, who's going to be in the photos that you're going to be seeing today. So thank you for helping me do this video. Let's get into it. The first one we're going to be doing is using these flowers here. Flowers grow everywhere. So getting to use flowers to be able to create sort of an aesthetic kind of nature kind of look with Penny over here, who is my model for today. So pretty much what we're gonna do is put Penny in a safe, non-thorny place away from the thorns, like this one over here, which I hope doesn't hurt me as I'm cutting it off. So you want to try and place her as much as possible into the flowers. There are usually two ways you can take a photo like this. You either want your model to stare directly into the camera. This gets to show like a certain interaction with the person who's getting to look at the photo. It's like whenever you see a photo on Instagram and the person is looking directly into the camera, you feel like they're actually looking at you. Or you can have them get to focus like somewhere in the sky. So you're gonna do both photos and see how they get to turn out. Are you ready? Penny here is a professional, so she knows what she's doing. So the first one, let's do you looking away from the camera, probably looking that direction. Tilt your head up a bit. That's perfect. Now look at me. So one of the things I'm doing as I'm taking these photos, I'm keeping in mind that there's a background, there's a foreground, and there's the middle ground. So in the middle ground, that's where you place your subject. In this case, it's Penny. And in the foreground and in the background, I get to place the flowers, and I make sure they're out of focus. It's great. Nice. I like that looking away. Look away again. Look away with less of the smile, more of like a focused look. Yes, like that. Let me try something. Probably just the same look, but I'm looking for a nice flower. I know my wife is already tired of holding that camera. She's holding it with one hand. She's learning the aren't you to put it somewhere in your ear. So one of the things I'm doing is using the rule of thirds and making sure that I position at least her eyes in those points.
Who that? Is that me?
Are you able to sink in a bit more into the plants without really dying? Just like that, you get to use things that are readily available to be able to get really nice photos, although she's been prickled by a lot of the thorns. And that is our first photography hack on a walkthrough on how you get to actually do it. So this second one is, I'm going to be doing actually two of them. I'm going to be starting with one. The first one is shooting through frames. You want to be able to put your subject in a frame. A frame might be like the frame of the door right there, so that the focus of the eye automatically comes to her. These are called leading lines when doing photography. So one of the things is, if I was to place her, if this door was closed, for example, which is not, it's not going to be closed probably, you should place her in the middle of this line. So always find leading lines in different places. Like for example, if I was to place her here, I would place her in the middle of here, because that's a leading line. So here you have two lines that lead to the subject who will be in the middle. The same thing to her. You have a leading line here, and if she was to move a bit, you have another one here that leads to her. So even if you place her here with the door open, hopefully it can go open, this is another leading line that leads to her. So you always want to take your photos of your subject with leading lines. And there are leading lines everywhere, from buildings to trees to anything. Just be able to concentrate on the environment that you're around and notice the leading lines to be able to take photos of your subject in them. So in this one, actually, because of the light which is going down, I am using my light, which I usually use in my home studio. Make sure to check out that episode. That's a plug right there. So let's go ahead and do this. Try and stand in the middle of that line. Yes. Then put your hands like on both frames. One, not on like that, like one can be lower.
Oh, I'm short, right?
You can lean. You can try and lean in a comfortable way. I know you're short.
I'm tall, but
So try and look away. So even as I take these photos, I'm trying to put her in the leading lines of a photo. Let's try to the door open. Try in the middle. Yes, use both hands. So in this case, as you can see, what she's doing is she's using the leading lines to lead to her. So the leading lines in this sense become this one. Then when she puts her hands on both the frames of the door, it actually leads to the main subject of the photo that you want to take. Perfecto. Gem has gotten tired, so the next one I want to try and use this manila paper to be able to like actually a tree might work, to just create its cause. Right, just hold this and to create a hole. hold it with two hands so that it doesn't fall when I create the hole. Wow.
what?
In a sense, it's like then you do your pose, whatever you do, those things that guys do, something. Get what I want?
Nope, but we'll try.
It's like you're trying to break through. Use this other side so that it leans. Yes, like that. So come in front of the light.
Peekaboo.
Here comes my trusted assistant.
Trusted.
Right here. Have the camera back. So with this one, other people, like my wife, call it Manila paper. I like to call it Bristol paper.
Nobody that paid me to do this.
I want it to be a bit straight at the top. Yes. Like
Nothing
that.
straight about this.
Don't smile. I want to see more of this hand. Nice, and also move this one a bit lower. Yes, like that. Let's try a different color. It's just trying to be creative and use whatever you have. These things were 30 shillings, that's 30 Kenya shillings. If you're converting them into dollars, it's like 30 cents.
Watch my eyebrows.
Close your eyes.
Close.
Yes. I had two types of blues, but I ended up just using this one. And you get to have really nice pictures without having to struggle to spend a lot in getting different accessories to be able to take good photos and step up your photography game. do is take this cling film, cut it, cover the lens, take a marker pen and draw like lines on it. Then after having the lines, you can use the spray to put water on it, then smudge it, or you can use your hand. What I pretty much wanted to do is create like flares on it. So when you just hold the book up a bit, like a bit higher, you can move the cling film around, like you see how I'm moving it around, so that it's not all the way on the camera lens, but I can play around it a bit. Then the more I do that, the more flares and that dreamy kind of look is created on it. So you'll have this really nice flares. The only tricky part is you need to leave some space for your hand to be able to move the focus point if you're on manual focus, which I'd suggest to do so that you have control over the camera. Move the book towards you to the same pose. So this is more of a stylistic thing that creates a style for your pictures. You can do this in post-production, but you can still decide to do this in camera. For this last one, you just need a cling film, which is a lot here, marker pen, and then as I showed you, get to do that. It's depending on where you are. I don't know how much it is or how much the marker pen is, and you get to have really awesome pictures. This video has been pretty much to show you how to be able to step up your photography game with simple things that you can be able to use around your house or your environment, to utilize them to be able to make yourself grow and become a better photographer. I'd like to give a special thanks to my wife, shout out to my wife, who's behind the camera for all the awesome footage, all the autofocus footage, all the footage with a lot of headroom. Special thanks to you for feeding me. I'm probably going to be sleeping in the couch today. Also special thanks to Penny here. She has been my model for today. You can follow her on Instagram at African Badass, that's true. If you'd like to learn more about photography and video related stuff, especially like photography like this one and many more, and you want me to do more videos on how I get to take photos like this one, just get to comment below and tell me what you'd want me to do. I have more of this coming up in the future. When I have more time, I'll plan to have more time. So make sure to like, subscribe and share this video because it gets to help me a lot. So until next week, see you.